Hi, BedNighters. Welcome back to another night of BedNights with VINVAE. Adeoluwa, welcome to BedNight.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. We are so excited.
I'm really happy to be here.
What's going on? Fill me in. What's happening? What's going on?
In life in general?
Nothing. Like, why are you so happy?
Oh, why am I happy? It's a good time to be happy.
Oh,
You don't think so?
yeah, it's good to be
The
happy.
world is fighting happiness, so I'm being happy as resilience.
That's good. Yeah, that's good to know. Please introduce yourself. Tell BedNighters about yourself.
Of course, my name is Adeoluwa. I'm a Canadian singer-songwriter. I live in Canada. I've been making music for a while now, and I'm really excited to be here. I have a lot of things I'm working on. And really, my favorite thing to do is to perform live. So the couple of shows I'm working on and creative directing and things of that nature. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Nice one.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think from now onwards I should be having just singers on my show. Tell me, what do you think? Just singers on my show. Yeah. Oh, thanks. That's a very nice one. And how long have you been in Canada?
I've been in Canada since 2019.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind
Before
of crazy.
COVID.
I came in August of 2019. So I had a couple of months right before COVID, and then COVID happened. It was really insane.
Yeah. And how was life, settling in during COVID? You're able to go out, lockdown.
It was
How
hard.
life?
It was really difficult. I was doing my master's when I came to Canada, so I was working as a student. And just the cultural changes, and as well as just the weather and life in general was very difficult. So that I feel like I grew up a lot in that 2020. But also, I think the lockdown also presented, as a musician, as an artist, a lot of cool opportunities to make things that I probably wouldn't have made, and to do shows and things that because everyone was doing from home shows and whatever. So a lot of opportunities came for musicians to be able to perform and send things in. And I actually had a whole stage concert thing and experience thing, and was funded and paid for and things of that nature. So it was like good and bad. There were a lot of great opportunities and a lot of people I met during that time that I met because of the pandemic, but it also like life itself was dicey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's awesome, and like you actually settled in very well. I thought I was going to hear, oh, it was so scary coming in. I couldn't go out. Nothing was
I
going
mean,
on for me.
it was scary for sure. I think I might be underplaying how difficult that time period was because of how not super far back it was. But there was a lot of uncertainty, like a lot of things that I didn't know that I was going to plan out. And obviously coming into the country as an immigrant, you're just like on your toes the entire time, just like what's going to happen, how does this work, how am I going to pay for this and whatever. So it was, but again, everything works out.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay, are you ready to tell us a story of just anything?
Okay, for sure. I think one of my okay, I have a thing with one of the reasons why I make music is because of live performances.
Okay.
I love performing live, and there are a couple of instances in my life where the power of live performance has just been so powerful to me. And then in the moment, like I'm not really thinking about how it's going to affect me later. But there are a couple of moments that's when I look back now, registered to me as to why I wanted to do this. And one of the first ones was when I was really maybe like 9 or 10. We were living in the States. So my parents and my aunt and my uncle and my brothers, we went to see the Brooklyn Tabernacle Choir. And they I think every Sunday they have a smaller sect of people that sing, but when they have like their concerts and their shows, they have the entire choir come out. And I went there and I was little and like again 8 or 9 or something like that. And we went there and we were watching the ministrations back to back. And I remember there was a time when I'd never experienced it before. I had like goosebumps turned to the max. Like it was like turned to the max, like 100. And I was like, oh my God, like just the music and the ministration, the performance. I started crying. And I was just like, wait, what's going on? Because it felt so out of body. I was like, I was just literally little me sitting down, and I was just like, wait, what's happening? Like, and it's something that has always really stuck with me. And as I've gone through life in different things, whenever I get to experience any kind of music related performance or machine or anything like that, that really can move me that way. I always take it as like a sign that one, I'm in the right place, because I think it's something that not a lot of people get to experience, is that just authentic, being able to be moved by something outside of yourself. And also it's like a sign for me that okay, this is also something I keep in my mind when I'm crafting my own things, that like, I
Mm-hmm.
want to make sure that I'm making art that moves people. Yes.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And have you been making music since you're 9, or that's when you found out, oh, I love music?
Actually, no. I mean, I've always it's so funny that if you ask my parents, they will tell you that they're surprised that I'm a musician, that they're no musical people. But
Oh.
I grew up in a very musical household. Like, we didn't do anything without music. If we were washing dishes, there was music for that. Saturday mornings, there was music for that. Going to church, coming back. Granted, all of this was like gospel music
Mm-hmm.
for all these points in my life, but there
Yeah.
was always music in the
Yeah.
house. And so when I went into high school, that was the first time. So I went into high school, I took this introduction to music class. I'd have been 12, 13 at this point. And when I went into high school, this is so funny. But I was taking an introduction to music class, and our teacher was trying to show us how music works, essentially.
Okay.
So I think our first class or our second class had happened after Kanye West took the microphone from Taylor Swift at the VMAs. And again, I was very sheltered really, because I didn't really know what the VMAs was. I was like, but everyone in school was talking
I was
about
talking
it.
about
And
it.
so she was like, we're going to use this opportunity to learn about songwriting structure, which I thought was very interesting. So there's a way Taylor Swift writes a song, um or wrote songs at that time, and there's obviously a way that Kanye West wrote songs as well, and we're very different. So the exercise was to I can pick one of them, listen to them, and
And
write a song. And it was so exciting. So I was like, oh, like, and again, I didn't really know these people.
at all.
Not really. Like, I feel like maybe I definitely knew
You should
Kanye.
know Kanye.
I knew Kanye West because of Jesus Walks. That was why.
Just what?
That's why I knew Kanye West. I knew Kanye West because of Jesus Walks. But Taylor Allison Swift, I really wasn't familiar with her game at that point. So then I went home and I was listening to. I think I listened to like I think I knew Love Lockdown, and that was out at that point.
That's one of my favorite songs from Kanye.
Yeah.
Keeping your love.
Yeah, so I think it was either out or had come out around that time, and I really liked the production of it.
Mm.
And I listened to like Love Story by Taylor Swift or something. So then, like, so we were in this class, and then our final assignment for the class was to write a song as a class. And so my class,
Who did they pick?
everybody was shy to sing, because like obviously we worked together to write this song.
Okay.
And there was a guy, Randall, was like, he's going to do a rap. He can do a rap first. We're like, okay, cool. Like, who's going to sing? And I was like, oh, like I'll sing bed. And I was like, okay, for sure. So after class, I remember we went to the music lab, and it was me, my teacher, and I think two other classmates, and I sang like but it was such a thrilling experience for me, because like with recording, I didn't know that at the time. You do your lead vocals, it can get comped, then you do all the background vocals, and then you kind of you have to arrange it in a way. And it was just like, I think it was one of the first time I had heard myself back to myself recorded, and I was like, this is so fun. So I joined the school choir, and then my teacher was also the choir director, so I was able to just learned a lot about it. So by the time I was graduating from high school, I put out an EP, a 7-song EP that you can find on some platforms, but I will not.
Why? Are you shy?
I'm
Let
not.
us hear
I'm
it.
not shy. It's just it's very and you know when you're 16, you think you know everything. Like you're like, I'm going to make this up, produce it. I'm going to mix and master it.
Oh, you did everything?
I did everything myself. I mean, I had friends help with my friends in terms of some production things, but I did all the arrangement, all the basic production. I used GarageBand. It was very cute. And so after that, that was like my first like really like I'm a musician making music thing. And then from there, I just kept on making different things over the years and changing with like obviously the more you know, the better of an artist you become. Because as I was learning more things about music and production and live and how to write a song and how to write a chorus and how to do it was showing up in my music as well. So that's so like I would say like from that I would say from like 20. I think I was like you like 2017 or 2018, like when like I went back into music again with like a lot of new knowledge. Because when I was in uni, I really did make a lot of music, which is very different from what most people normally do. I was really like bookworm and focused on my studies. Like I was like, I'm going to finish with the first class. Da, 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 da.
You school here?
I know my uni was in Nigeria. I went to Bowen. Yeah.
US, Canada, Nigeria.
Yeah. We're global. We bit of a global trotter over here. But yeah, so then so after I finished from university, I started like to work on music more seriously, and then started up like 2017, 2018.
Did you serve your country after university?
I did.
Where did you serve?
In Lagos.
Okay.
I did actually.
And during your service, did you make music?
During my service, I make music. I started to make my album during my service. So my debut album, After Bells and Whistles, I had to make it during my service. And it was one of the most difficult things I've done, because I knew I was traveling to Canada at the end of that year. But then my Canadian visa it didn't come out until like it took a while for me to get my passport back. So even though if I gotten it, so I was like, I don't know if it's gonna happen or whatever. And then I was supposed to resume school in August. I think we heard back in June or July. So everything went into like everything was running. Like I suddenly had time for nothing. But I was able to finish the album before I left Nigeria, and I put it out like I think the week before I left to come here. So yeah. Interesting times.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And were you like you grew up in the US, not Nigeria?
Yes.
Then after high school, you went to
back to Nigeria. Yes.
Oh. Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm born bred in Nigeria.
Okay.
I came in 2022.
Oh, that's really recent.
Yeah, I actually started the Canada PR process in 2020. Then, no, 2019, I submitted.
Wow.
2020, lockdown happened. They stopped accepting applications. I had to wait almost 2 years.
Oh, wow. How did that feel?
The wait?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just there. Even my mom was like, "Why don't you try out Japan?" Like, mommy. Yeah. She has never been a fan of the UK.
Okay.
And
fair.
the US, there's no clear pathway.
Right.
And like I said, Obiageli.
Yeah.
I came to this life to
soft life.
And she knows her daughter is, there was a period she was calling me comfort. Like, come, I know Nigerian mother. It's not even, she will not even touch it up.
Yes.
Comfort. And that you too like enjoyment. Like, what's wrong with this woman?
Yeah, like,
yeah,
you want to be stressed out.
Yeah, and in this situation, I was even the one calming her down. Like, calm down.
It will work out.
It will work out. She even suggested go as a student. I said, Mommy, I'm done schooling.
Yeah.
I have my master's. I'm done schooling.
I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you that you stuck to that, because the whole student thing, it can be dicey.
Yeah. I hear horror stories about being a student.
Like, if you survive that, you can survive anything. Yeah, it's really, it was tough. It was really tough.
Yeah.
I always like when someone asks, like, I'm not an immigration consultant coach. I know nothing. Please.
We know nothing.
I actually know.
We're not even talking anything about immigration.
Zero. But like, just on my experience, and I always say, like, I'm not giving you advice like, hey, this is my experience. This is my opinion. But like, if you can come not as a student, come as PR, and then if you want to go back to school really bad, do that.
And
but
it's cheaper.
It's
Yes.
I just had PTSD. It was that would have been my that's like I think that's okay advice, but do your own findings, do your own research. Yeah.
Okay, let's get back to music.
Okay.
We're done talking life.
Sure.
No, before we get back to music, you said, how has living in Canada been for you?
It has been interesting. It has again, I've kind of, my adult life has been here, which is it's 5 years, but it feels like it has been more than 5 years, because have been such 5 monumental and important years for me. But it's been ups and downs. I've had a lot of I had a lot of immigration challenges when I first came here. Which we thank God. And those things, when they happen, it feels like they're never going to end. Like, sometimes I look back at like how quickly things turned around, but in the moment you're just like, this is what's going to finish me. Like this is going to be the end of everything. And when you go through those immigration kind of challenges, having a community is very important. So I used to live in Regina, Saskatchewan, and a lot of the friends and bonds I made, they have what have carried me through all my various eras in Canada. They've really lifted me. They've been there for me, and they've just because you come here. I came here by myself. I didn't know anyone in Canada. My landlord picked me up from the airport, so I really didn't know
But you
any.
have family back in the States.
I have some family in the States, yes.
Okay.
Yes. But I knew no one in Canada. So was very, making my own way, making my own path, getting information. I think that's the most important thing, that sometimes when people come to a new country, they want to stay in spaces that they're familiar with, or they don't make any efforts to break those spaces.
Yeah.
And what you are denying yourself from is access to information, because there's information that people that don't look like you would know, and information that people that look like you would know
Also
as well.
know.
So like finding that balance of like, as long as you have information, especially in this country, like information is power, because like that's when you find out that like there's $5,000 that you're eligible for that you did not know for. Like there's so many opportunities, but you have to be in the circles that will inform that for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I have a funny question to ask. Were you a stubborn child? Why did you go back to Nigeria to school?
Oh my god, that is that's such an interesting question. Okay. when I was in when I was in my first year of high school, when I was a freshman in high school, my dad's job was what brought us to Canada. So, and his job was
US or Canada?
US, sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, my dad brought us to the US.
Okay.
And his job was like, it was like a contractual job. So his contract ended. So after his contract ended, it was time for him to go back. That was how it just happened that the contract had been like renewed and it was long. So we moved there when I was like 8, and we stayed there till like into my teens or whatever. So then it was like, oh, like we should go back. And I was going to this really, really expensive high school because of, again, my dad's job and everything, and I allowed for it. So it was a private high school, and then I was doing really well. Like, again, I was a nerd or whatever. And then the school was like they weren't sure why I was going to be leaving. So they were like, he's eligible for scholarships, like if that's whatever. My mom was like, oh, like that's a great opportunity. You should stay, but everybody else is gonna go. So everybody left. So I lived with like some family friends and some family members here for a while. And I think what happens when you're like, I guess 16, one, and you're like, first of all, you miss your family a lot. And then you also romanticize somewhere that I've not been in a while. So like at that point, I hadn't been in Nigeria for like maybe 4 or 5 years. So I was like, oh my God, I miss Nigeria so much. And everybody was like, are you sure? I was like, no. And I was going through my own, like, we were once kings era, like I'm African as well. So, we were kings, we were once rulers, blah blah blah. And I was like, yeah, like, and then for some reason, my parents like agreed, which I think is the funniest thing looking back. And then I was expecting like some type of pushback. My mom was like, are you sure? I was like, yeah, I want to come back to Nigeria. And then like years later, when we would talk about it, I was like, I was shocked that you guys are allowed. And then they were like, they don't know what I was going through. That was so, like, they were shocked that I wanted to come back. And they were like, well, for you to want to come back, like maybe everything is not okay. Like, so that was why they listened. I was like, that actually makes sense. Because my mom, I was like, I'll tell my dad and my mom that they'll be like, shut up, like go and do your college applications or whatever. And they were like, okay, sure. And they listened to me, which shout out to my parents for that. And I came back. And obviously when I come back, I was like, oh. But it turned out to be, I think, one of the best decisions I've made, because I don't have any student loans. Because if I had stayed, I would have had to collect student loans and things of that nature. And like, so now in my adult life, because I paid for my master's I did work studies to pay for my master's. I'm just like kind of grateful, one, to have had any kind of insight about wanting to go back. I mean, it wasn't because of student loans I went back, but like it turned out to be a good thing.
Yeah.
And then again, my parents for listening, because again, that was the craziest part of this thing
for listening.
was that they listened. They actually listened to me. And yeah, so in hindsight, because there's no way I would have done that. I would have to take our student loans for sure, and I would probably be paying that off till.
And from my own perspective, I think it's also good. You got to know Nigeria
Right,
better.
right.
Yeah.
As a because all
As
my
an
formative years,
adult.
yeah,
Yeah.
all my formative years I've been in the States, and I was there
Mm.
from, I guess, like I was Nigeria. I was born in Nigeria, so birth to 7 years old or
Mm.
whatever, or 8 years old,
But
whatever.
you would not know
Yeah, but
what.
exactly. There's so many things that
Mm-hmm.
I would have, not even that I missed on, because
Yeah.
when I got back to Nigeria, and it's the difference that a year would make is crazy. Because I remember or 3 years, I guess, when I go back to Nigeria to be with my family, like one of the first things, it was unbelievable to me. One of the first issues that we had was that they couldn't understand me speaking. And in my mind, like I didn't even have that much of an accent. Like because if you go in our church in the States, oh, like Ade is very well trained. He even understands Yoruba. That sounds like, oh, I'm one of the, like, when I go back to Nigeria, we just blend
Blend
in.
in.
Nobody will
You
know,
know.
like me. Da, 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 da. And then I going back home. There was when I was talking to my mom, and she was looking at me, and I was just yapping, and she was like, "Can you please say that slowly?" I was just like, she was like, honestly, I have not understood anything you've been saying. I was like, oh, so that took a while too for me to like find, I guess, my Nigerian speaking cadence
Mm.
and all of those. So it was interesting for sure.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, good to know you had fun back in Nigeria.
Yeah,
Good to
it
know.
was.
Yeah,
It was.
Nigeria is a land of fun.
Yeah,
So,
it is. It truly is.
all right, let's talk music in Canada.
Yes.
How is it for you?
It's been great, honestly. Like I've gotten to experience and do some things that have just been really great and monumental in terms of opportunities.
Mhm.
There's a Western Canadian music conference for the Canadian music industry that happens every year.
Mhm.
In Western Canada, they go from place to place, and you have to apply for it.
Mhm.
And I got to go. It's called Breakout West. I got to go in 2023. Very, very eye-opening. Just this past August, I was at McEwen in Edmonton. I applied for it. I got into this music artist in residence program, and it's like 2 weeks, so 2 to 3 weeks of just learning a lot of things, networking, building your skills. And I got to do the Great Cup Festival in Saskatchewan. I performed there. I've got to do just so many really cool things with full bands, and like just a lot of the things I've dreamed about doing for such a long time. I'm like, oh, I don't know when I'll get to do this, but I always write them down and I always share them with my manager. Like, I don't know when we'll get to do this, but I want to da 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 da. I want to da 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 da. And slowly and surely, a lot of those things have been happening. So I think here, if you stick to your guns, it's not always easy for sure, but if you stick to your guns and you just whatever you do, don't stop. Like there's always someone watching, and it's often never a matter of your follower count or your impressions and engagement. It's just a matter of you continue to put work out into the world and the the world, the country, the space, the internet, whatever. And they're just because some of the things I've gotten, what they quote as like, this is what we saw, this is how it happened. I'm like, that? Oh, okay. Like, and I often know something that I can recreate, but I just try to show. One thing about me is like I try not to be too precious about something, because when I put all my all into making a song, a record, a video, whatever, I need to put it out as soon as I can so I can make the next thing that is better. Because oftentimes when I hold on to things because like, this is so precious that I feel for the moment, then it kind of stifles how much my brain is able to think about what's next. So I kind of do to the point that I love and I appreciate, let it go, or plan for it to let it go and start working on the next thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Interesting. And is this a full-time thing for you?
Not currently, not currently.
Okay, do you intend to?
Yes, yes, for sure.
Okay, and what do you think, like, what ways do you think an artist here in Canada, are you independent or
Yes,
you signed your
independent.
own? So for independent artists, how do you think, they can make something from it, make it a full-time job?
The first thing is a lot of artists, and not just musicians, artists across spectrums, anyone that's and creatives in general, they leave a lot of money on the table.
Mm,
There's so much funding in Canada for things. There's
really?
an immaculate amount of funding in your province, in your city, for your demography. somebody somewhere left you money to do what you want to do. And it's a matter of being patient and doing the research and finding it and being in the circles where people think of you top of mind. I can't overemphasize the importance
Mm-hmm.
of being visible and being top of mind for people. When someone thinks of male singer live band in some circles, that like they would think of me. So when they are in like a board meeting choosing who's going to do whatever, like, oh, like, let's see if Ade will want to do it, or let's see if he should, or let's see if he has applied for it. And those are usually live changing opportunities. So definitely funding, find the money that's on the table and work strategically towards getting that funding for yourself or that opportunity for yourself. Sometimes it's not always direct funding. Like the McEwen program I did was paid for by TD Music. So I didn't pay for where I stayed. I didn't pay for they fed us every day. We got to record demos. I actually just got my demo back with a whole live band with equipment that you would have to pay thousands of dollars to use. So the funding doesn't always look like money in your pocket directly, but
Mm-hmm.
it can be money for an opportunity. When I did Breakout West, we applied for funding for the band that I flew with the band, where we stayed. Our accommodation was covered. Just different things like the role that I did towards that was some of it was covered as well. So just looking for the opportunities of the funding and things of that nature. And there are also other things like I haven't started to monetize my content yet because I have like a plan I'm working towards it. But there's some you don't even again like you don't need billions or millions of followers to get some opportunities. So like
Mm-hmm.
on like Meta on not Instagrams per se, but on Facebook, like there are systems there where if you're making the type of content like they will pay you for. So I have a couple of artist friends who do that where they create stuff to put on Facebook specifically. They do their AB segments and whatever, and they put money towards it. So and it also depends on what you want to how much money it takes to make you happy, how much money because that's funny enough that's the we sometimes we think that we all have like a universal understanding of contentment, but we really don't. Like everybody has like if I'm not taking this home, and they may not know the number. There's always a number. They may not know the number, but they may know it in terms of like if I can go to 3 brunches, buy 2 new outfits, send my mom $150 or $200, and go see 5 movies, whatever that cost is. That's the cost that will make me
Me happy.
happy. So they don't know it. They don't know it's numerically, but they know it spiritually. Like they know have a sense of what it is. And I always, well, not always, but I advise people to find out what that number numerically is because it will determine your your pro- your attitude towards some certain opportunities that you get. Because there'll be opportunities where you would get and be like, oh boy. call call mama, put me action thing down today. And there's opportunities that you get and be like, I think I should push a little bit and see if they will give me more money for this. But that depends on what your number is. Because if you're
Mm.
like, oh, this is how much the so has happened this month. If I push a little for these two things, I might be right at the cusp of my number. Because you know always it's like you're an entrepreneur basically with your life, right?
Yeah.
So before I used to say yes to every opportunity, basically, and I just wanted to get out there, get my hands dirty. But as I've grown, the people that are in my band, they don't get paid in exposure.
Yeah, that
And their skill, obviously I'm paying for their skill and whatever, so that has improved. So and just sometimes just the logistics of making something happen. So with me, like I'm very detailed with the live performance down
yeah.
to what we are wearing, what we are doing. So yeah.
Yeah, the thing is everyone except the artist gets paid.
Right, right, right. And
So
but you
sad.
have to find a way. So you have to really find a way to like look out for yourself essentially.
Mm.
And sometimes again, like I said, like I think I'm be kind of dynamic in what you consider getting paid. So as long as like an experience is growing you in one way or the other, you are it's worth it to me usually. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So for live music, do you hire the band or you have like a set of people you work with?
This question, it's a great question. I it's a mix of both because sometimes you have 6 months to know about the performance, sometimes you have 2 weeks. Sometimes everybody's around and can travel. Sometimes only one person can travel.
Mhm.
And things happen, they're just different things. They have opportunities as well. So I have a mix of both where sometimes I have like people that I know I want to work with and I've worked before. And
Okay.
sometimes we are just on the prowl, on the look for something, so for new people, for the various reasons.
Okay. All right, nice. I have a question. So I'm looking forward to I released my second studio album last month, and I'm looking forward to host my very first, live show before I release my third studio album, because this kind of artist, I release albums because if I drop as a single, there'll be a disconnect for me. I'm not saying it's bad because online people keep saying drop single, but yeah, for me, I'd rather drop a body of work. So, the listener experience when they go, they listen, because all songs on the
They're
album,
connected.
they are connected for me. So that's what I do. So I'm looking forward to like host my first live concert to 100, 150, 200 people. And
Nice.
I noticed you've been hosting lots of live shows. What teach me, like, yeah, because I'm doing it alone. I don't have a tour manager or anything. How do you get a live show together from the start?
So I think the biggest thing I've learned about singular life shows, like you may not have a team on paper that, oh, this is my team, this is whatever,
Mm,
but you still need a team.
yes,
Does that make sense?
it does.
So,
It does.
like, so you just have being able to be like, these are the problems I have. You, my friends, and people that love and support me,
Yeah.
help me,
Help me,
please.
please.
Because people don't, there's so many transferable skills in life that people, before Ivy was my manager, she was my manager without the title, because
Mm,
I would have like these issues booking things or booking people. And she'd be like, oh, I don't know anything about music, but what if you da 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 da? Da?" And sometimes that's the perspective you need,
mm,
because a room of 5 musicians would think like musicians,
yes.
but if you bring an engineer or a doctor in there, they'll be like, well, this is how I would do it. And then it just applies to you in a different way. So I always had people, not always, but for the most part, I've had people who I could lean on for advice, for help, or experience. The hardest part has always been getting two things I've always found to be hard. I've been getting the instrumentalists themselves, people that will do it for the agreed upon rates that they're going to do it for, and getting a place to rehearse. That's always been dicey. So I think something that we always do often is like think from the end. So like, okay, let's find where we can rehearse first. And obviously in speaking to the instrumentalists,
Mm,
sometimes we speak to like, I remember when we were looking for Breakout West, we spoke to like 50 different people across
yeah.
instruments and whatever, because people will be available, then they can't, then they sometimes they don't read the full. We always send out like a briefer. So the briefer has the songs that I will be doing, the links to this version of the song that we want to do, the dress code if or there's always a dress code. So the dress code, the details of the rehearsals and the details of the performance day. So like when we have to be at the venue for sound check, to when we tear down, like as specific any questions, like FAQs for anything that you want to know about this trans performance. Here it is in a one sheet or something like that, and share it with the person so that upon seeing they're agreeing to all of that. So if there's any, but even upon still with all of that, people still like, oh shoot, I forgot. I have to da 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 da. So then you have to rejig. So definitely finding people that can help you through all that, because it gets
Mm,
crazy. This determining how much you're going to spend on things before you start spending on them.
yeah.
So because there will always be things that you need to make adjustment for. But if you have a ballpark idea of what it is you are spending on, then I think I'm very stubborn about what the vision of my performance is. So if it's a 30-minute performance or 45 minutes from now, I never go above my time. Very
Yeah.
important that you don't go above your time. They will not invite you back. But I always have like this show is about this, that I want to look, consider, how I want to feel on stage, and I let that determine the set list.
Okay.
And the set list also, I'm thinking about when I want to take a break from singing so I can catch my breath. I'm thinking about what songs are harder to sing than the other ones and rearranging them that way, where to put a cover out so I can get crowd engagement, how to arrange it. So thinking about all of that in tandem as well, because you don't want to put all of that work into a show and feel like the audience didn't get the
I
best of
think so.
you. So you want to like always set yourself up for success in terms of what you're picking, how you're picking it, and what's showcasing your strengths and what isn't. But also challenging yourself. Like I always put something there that challenges me, usually in the form of a cover to just expand and see what feels better and more comfortable. So yeah, it's one of those things where like there's no teacher like doing it. Like you just
Yeah.
have to do it, and as you do it, you find your own pockets of
Yeah, I
discovery.
see. Then how do you go about booking venues? And how do you sell tickets?
Okay, so booking venues is hard,
Oh my
for
God.
sure. Booking venues is hard because most venues are booked like sometimes a year in advance.
Okay.
So if you know you want a specific venue and you want it bad, the moment you have that idea, email them. Don't even wait for it to have things figured out. Like
Mhm.
the moment you have an idea, email them. And then it goes in two ways. If you are booking the venue and all the costs are on you, or if you've booked the venue but maybe they have like a monthly artist thing or a weekly artist thing, so the costs are on them and they're the ones paying for it. Because if you're booking a venue and it's not part of the venue schedule of things,
Mhm.
then you might have to find your own sound guy. You might have to find, it depends on the venue. There are things that you might have to pay for on your own. But it's a venue that has like an ongoing artist at noon thing, and you book a slot in that, then some of the costs are less. You have just focusing on how big you want your band to be,
Okay.
and then also knowing what size of band you have a budget for is very important. Now there are people that like genuinely love playing, and not everybody cares about how much they would get from it.
Yeah.
So, but you don't meet those kind of people without networking.
Mhm.
So you're just gonna have to be like form relationships. Go to I mean, you live in Toronto, so Toronto.
Yeah. Like I know a band. So last year I did a live version for my debut studio album.
Yeah,
So like I know a band. So if I have a date for
you know how you can
yeah
book
for the
them.
concert, I
Yeah.
can reach out to the guy. He's a drummer and he was the one that brought together the other guys.
Oh,
So
that's great.
and he also arranged the music
Oh,
for
fantastic.
me.
That's great.
So I know a band. The thing right now I don't know about is venue ticketing. I don't know about
Ticketing is hard because there's no like magic thing. You just have to sell the tickets. Like there's like
how. So on my website
oh,
or
so that's the thing. One of my favorite people on earth is Funke Akindele, because when she needs to sell movie tickets, there's nothing she won't do to sell them. Like you have to be anal about. So I try to be creative in how I do that. So like for my last show, the one I did in May, we did like a little short film,
Mhm.
where I was walking around the streets of Calgary, and it was very arty and cool and got other people's attention. But also like just a day to day updated. Another person that was really good at selling out tickets was Anatolia. She would do these like 30 days till my show gets sold out,
Mhm.
but actionable, like call to action. This is how you do it, this is how you get it done, and make sure that the process of, because if you're not a more established, if you're not Ariana Grande, Taylor Swift,
Yeah.
people have less patience for inconveniences while purchasing the ticket. Because
Mhm.
like they go there once and maybe the pay code thing is not there. Like,
Okay.
ah, I tried.
I tried.
I
I
tried.
tried.
I tried. Like they are not even like, you know how like sometimes you have to like leave like click on Instagram. You
Yeah.
leave Instagram to go to the other app to do it. They will stay on that
They'll still
Instagram bio link and be like, I wonder why it's not working.
work.
Ugh,
Oh,
I tried.
it's not my
What
fault. I
what can I
tried.
do?
What can I do?
What can I do? Like, oh, I'm going to get. Oh, I tried. Oh,
I
I
tried.
was on the
I
link.
tried buying
I
it.
was on the link. It thing was just not working. I'm just like, sorry. Let me show you how to do
Let me show you.
that. So make sure that the process of them purchasing is as my links are everywhere. So
Okay.
if you don't have my link, it's because you hate me, because it's in my bio, it's on my stories, it's on my website, it's on my Twitter, it's on my links are everywhere. So it's not a
Yeah.
matter of like you can't find, because sometimes, and genuinely, like even as a consumer, sometimes like I won't go through with a purchase if I get like, everybody has a different threshold of inconvenience,
Mhm.
and that's measured against how badly they want the thing. But if like it's a jacket I'm not supposed to be buying, I've tried once, my CVV is not working. I
Mm.
tried once, my zip code is not working. I'm not buying that
You're
jacket
not
again.
buying
No.
again.
Like it's all the best all involved. Like I'm moving on. So
Yeah.
making sure that it's a seamless process, but just telling people, and not just telling people, like in a broadcast kind of way, like just on social media. Like I always make a list. Like for my last show, I made a list of people that I was like, these are people that I would expect would want to be there or will be there, and like following through with them and being like, hey, have you like, there's no, because how much I invested into the show, there's no room for shame really,
At
or
all.
there's no room for being shy. It's like, this is my dreams, more I'm passionate about. I need help. Please help me.
Do you run ads to sell tickets?
Not anymore. Because I've done that to varying results. It's just hard to pinpoint if it was the ad that made them buy the ticket. And usually, if you, I, this is my experience. So this is not a blanket statement for everybody. But if you want to, in my experience or in my opinion, if you want to run ads to sell a ticket, you have to have a lot of money to run those ads, because you don't want to just run one general ad. You want to run a general ad that reaches a wide variety of people. Then you, with that information, you now keep running ads to the people that engage with it once, and run ads to those people again. They see it again, then then go even deeper to their target audience. So you keep going. So you start with this huge sample size, find out who reacted, how they reacted, then double down on them and keep going to
Yeah.
them. So you don't want to, and that's a lot of money. Like that's a lot
It's
of
a lot.
money and a lot of like A/B segmentation and things of
Yeah,
that nature.
but why not target people who already engaged with your profile, your page? That's cheaper and easier.
But you don't know if all those, I mean, ideally you should target those people,
Mm-hmm.
but people engaging with your page does not a ticket buy sale make.
Mm-hmm.
Like people dropping a comment does not a song listen guarantee.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is so cool, bro, I will check this out. They might,
They might.
not never, but might. So because sometimes even with selling tickets, some of your family and friends may not buy one. Like it may not be their thing, right?
Yeah.
So initial engagement does not a follower, music fan, ticket buyer make. So it has to really be people that have shown deliberate, consistent, this might be my thing. And then obviously human beings, not well, some human beings, but most human beings don't truthfully engage with something fully on their first encounter with it. So that first encounter is an awareness
Yeah.
notification, like, oh, okay. Then second time you're like, maybe am I free to engage? Third, fourth time you're now like, okay, I'm seeing, I understand the vision, I understand the
Yeah.
concept. Fifth, sixth, seventh, we're not getting to someone that will might buy a ticket, might listen to the song. So that's a life cycle of engaging with someone, and that is a lot of
A
money.
lot of money.
Yes, as opposed to just one where like you do $20 per day and like you have 1,000 impressions, and then it's like, okay, where are my
Where
tickets?
am I?
1,000 impressions, where are my
Where am I?
streams? I don't need your impressions, bruh. I need the streams to go up. You're talking about 1,000 impressions. I don't see nothing changing. So what are they impressed with? What are they impressioning? And so that was my biggest question for the longest time. And I did some research because I know people who have been successful. TikTok. Oh my God. I feel like everybody's underusing TikTok, especially for pushing the show. I have a friend, they did the show in Toronto here. I would say, let's say, 30, 40% of people that came to the show found it on TikTok.
Oh.
Like just TikTok, and they put the location,
Yeah.
and they were, with TikTok you have to be again like you don't have room for shame.
Everyone on TikTok is shameless.
Shame and shyness is not something that you should be holding to your chest, because I think essentially what he did was they had like 5 videos, and they would just kind of like change the text or the caption every day for like 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
Organic post, or he ran
Organic.
ads?
He didn't run ads. It was
Okay.
organic.
Okay.
And I know like 2 other people that they didn't run ads on TikTok as well. They do those if you are saying this, you're one of my first followers, whatever, and they just same picture, same videos, 30 seconds, 20 seconds, 7 seconds even, and direct impact. Like you can tell this is where the people are from. Because even me, I tried it. It was one of the things that they told us at McEwen. I was like, you are underusing TikTok, and I'll show you why. And I was like, okay, this next, it was hard though. I was doing like, it was hard. I'm not gonna hold you. It's difficult. So you have to find low hanging fruits. I did like, I think I did 10 posts a day for like a week. But again, low hanging fruits, they were varying in what kind of posts they were.
10 posts a
And
day.
I got like a couple of, and people that I wouldn't even think would find my music or my presentation to
Mm.
be intriguing. Like, yo, just saw this right now. I'm going to check out the song. And I open my Spotify artists and I'm seeing 4 people listening to your song right
Mm.
now. So I'm like, whoa,
Whoa.
crazy. So TikTok with the hashtags, with the location, it is, yeah, she's that girl. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thanks. Thanks for schooling us
For sure, for sure, for sure.
about
I'll be
my
here all
shows.
week.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So last one, you said you play festivals.
Yes.
How do you get
You have to get ready for a lot of no's.
Oh, you apply
You have to
yourself?
apply. Yes. You have to apply.
Oh.
The point at which they started reaching out to you, you must have some type of label backing. So, like, not must sounds whatever, but usually, the different festivals work in different ways.
Mm.
So there are festivals that they really are trying to bring out upcoming acts and those ones. Again, a lot of people apply, so you just have to keep applying for a lot of them. But then there are just some slots that are for, hey Johnny, I have this artist. He's making a lot of waves in Toronto right now. You
Mm.
know, he's really doing good. We pushing like 90,000 streams on the last song, and you know he's talking about having a Drake feature the next thing. So he's like really popping, and we think you should have him on y'all set list for your festival coming up. Like for sure, like send me your stuff. Like all right, cool, I'll send you your stuff.
Yeah.
And then there's a slot for those kind of
For those kind
entries,
of
but
people.
for I guess most of our other artists that don't have that kind of like
Backings,
backing, because like
yeah.
I met an artist who like his because of his label support,
Mm.
they went to the Spotify office, I think it was in Toronto or somewhere, and then we got to talk to the editors and the playlist and the curators. So
Mhm.
like that is access, that's real access. But for everyone else, you just apply to a lot of apply to what fits you, but apply to a lot because it's like it's math. So if you apply to 100 and you get 80 rejections, unless like you really suck, like you should get 5 or 4 or 3. And
Yeah.
you also have to be cautious about the content you're putting online
Mm.
because again, some of the people they don't. Some of them have patience, some of them don't. I've met 2 different festival bookers who like one of them listens to every single thing she sent. Like she really is, and the people that like you have a nasty 30 seconds. You have a great 15 seconds to make an impression. So on your page, make sure that it's not just like fine selfies and cutesies. Like you have content there that shows what you are like in
Mhm.
action. So I've gotten very cautious about putting stuff out in the world that shows like, yo, I've been doing this for a while. I do this really well. This is what I look like when I'm engaging with a crowd. This is what my set looks like, what I sound like, and having those out there. Because again, top of mind to leave an impression. So make sure that social media pages, which are your resume, are backed and filled with information and things that will give someone a glimpse into what booking you would be
Okay.
like.
And with all this stress, do they pay the artist?
They pay varying degrees. Not all festivals pay the same, so they will let you know for sure
Oh
what
yeah.
their rate is, but they pay you. Yeah, they pay for sure.
Yeah, because with this stress, it should be paid.
It's definitely paid. The shows are definitely paid. But you have to then take out you have to consider what you're paying versus what you want to present. So
Mm,
sometimes
your band.
I mostly invest in I call it investment in my shows,
Mm.
which is like, this is what I'm getting paid, but this is a show I want to give. And the show I want to give is usually not in the same ballpark of what I'm getting paid. So
Yeah,
sometimes you take that
that's
money and
true.
you invest it into the presentation of the show, who is playing in the show, and just various things.
Yeah, yeah. I see. Do you do this yourself or you have your manager do it for you?
I we have it's shared labor. So I don't have a manager that is like my slave or anything of that nature. So so there are things, I think, for when it comes to applications, truthfully, I think I do most of the applications. She helps me, she helps out. She does We have different things that we are good at.
Mhm.
I've just been doing these kind of applications for such a long time. I have like a one-stop document. I have short bio, I have long bio, I have my social media. Like I can get you an application quickly. Like, why do you want to do this festival? Why? There are things that like I'm just over the years I've gotten really fast at doing. So most of the application kind of applications I actually do myself. And if I need something, because I again like you have the things that you like, the more you do them, just again like there's no teacher like doing. Like the more you do, the better you get. So I have like these are my professional applications I want to use. These are my bios. These are the things or whatever. Like I just a mix of all of those things. I can get through them really quickly.
Yeah. That's nice.
Thank you.
I like your whole depth knowledge
Oh, thank
for
you so
this
much.
music stuff.
Thank you very much.
You sound so passionate about
No,
it.
I know, like I'm
Yeah.
really just so gassed that
Yeah, you sound
living in, because like if I was living in Nigeria, like the life I live a good life. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
I'm not like, I'm not Mr. Easy and Primitive Dollar by any chance. But I live I'm upwardly mobile. I can be creative like to the extent of my this is a great country to live in. Like I really like living here. And I think that I don't take it for granted because if I was not in this country, in a different country that shall go unnamed,
Sorry for laughing.
it's other places in the world, my trajectory would just not be the same. And just in terms of being able to be somebody's child, that they can be like, yo, like, can you help your brother do this? I'm like, yeah, I can. And I can still go to band rehearsal and pay my rent and be hopeful for future things and not feel like, wow, this music thing, wow. It's such a privilege and I don't take it for granted. So every time that I get an opportunity to be like, okay, if I'm showing up and I'm being knowledgeable and I'm putting my smarts and I'm being a kind to people around me, I'm not being, I can actually, what will stop me is my rate of, like, it's not every country or space where your rate of work is directly proportionate to your success. Like you can, in certain places, let me not finish that sentence. Let me not trigger your viewers. But in certain places, you can shave your head bald, fast for 30 days, jump down the hula hoop, do Circus du Soleil while swimming underwater in the middle of hell. And then you do all of that and get someone to be like, I don't like your earring. No.
Why do you have that?
Why? Yeah. And it's like, see the work I taste like, well, today I just don't feel like it. And all you, I mean, what are you going to do like that? Unless you want to, I don't know what you would want to do. But like here, if I did all those things, in fact, I feel like sometimes I get really comfortable too. Like I'm like, oh, like I'm fine. But like if I was doing that work rate here, like you will see the doors like open. Like so it's just a matter of being like, I'm not thinking like everybody else. I think that's one thing I really had to get out of my mind is that I'm not, I'm not just a Bieber. I'm not this person next to me. I'm my own person. And so the more I lean into my own personness, the more I can make specific things. And it won't be for everybody, which is the great about specific things. It just naturally cuts people out of your space, and it just leads you to your own path and your own. So it does make me very passionate. I'm really grateful that I'm somewhere that, like, as long as I continue to work hard, I'll continue to see results and I'll continue to live a life that because there's a lot of thing around being a tortured artist. It's so romanticized being a struggling artist, like I will, like there's some people like when I'm like, oh, when I first came to Canada, like I had a hard time. They'd be like, you know what? That's a hard time, but like there was a time that I stepped on the bridge. I'm like, okay, like you win. Like I'm not hey. Hey. Because people that come from where VINVAE comes from, they love a struggle contest. I'm like, you know what? You win. Like I've never slept under a bridge and I have no plans to sleep under a bridge. I was giving you my story. Like Jesus. So like I don't do struggle Olympics with people. Like you win. My God, you win. Like I want to be able to make art that I'm like, I love this so much. And sometimes you come from a place of pain. That's life. But I don't want to be pushing myself towards a place of pain when I can be not. I can be, hydrated, moisturized, and making art and not dragging with somebody that, I only had 1 pint of water that one time. In the snow, it was like 74 degrees and I had to sing in the guitar. I'm like, you win.
You win.
You got it. You got it. No, for real, you got it. Yeah, but so that's how I see it.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for schooling me. I've learned a lot today.
Oh, thank you.
Especially the life parts, performance, and how to go about things. Okay, sorry. I know I said last question
No, for
before.
sure.
No,
I,
last one before.
we got it.
Yeah. So last one. And what is your recommended venue capacity?
I think I was going to give. I've actually been thinking about this a lot.
Yeah.
Do something that challenges you.
Okay.
Cause I've been about that for because I'm planning a show as well.
Okay.
And this one we want to be the big bosses around. We want to do everything. We want to
In Edmonton,
in
Calgary.
Calgary.
Okay.
We want to, we want to shake. And this is a conversation that we keep having about who's gonna come. Because obviously the venue size depends how much you pay for the venue if you're paying for the venue. I'm just like, if you unless you're like a super, you know, que sera person. But if there's something about money, because of how hard it can be to come by. If you say, for this venue capacity, we're going to take $1,500 from you. In this economy, that venue is going to be filled.
It has to be
that venue is going to be filled because. So like that's what I'm like, let's challenge ourselves. Because the last show was, we didn't organize it, but we did a really good job of promoting it, and I feel like we'd have had a better capacity if we had a full whatever on it. I'm like, let's challenge ourselves because there's just for you to get like the next. This is again a manifestation of all the audiobooks I've been listening to. So if I'm sounding a little bit lion motivation correlation, so that's just where my head is right now. But for you to get to the next thing that you want to do, you really have to like push up, right? Like because if you like do a capacity that you can feel, then the next time you do a capacity that you can feel a little bit more. But if you're like, then you may not get that capacity all right, but the experience, and that's the thing, the experience that you've had trying to put that capacity, it will just like, you won't see things the way you'd have seen it if we were booking a smaller capacity. Like,
I see.
Okay, timing is the issue. We need more space, or we need more time to promote, or this person came with 2 people, this time they can come with 4. Like those kind of things, they come in, but you have to push above your weight to get there.
Yeah, so I reached out to TD Music Hall.
Okay.
It's a 450 standing capacity, and they got back to me. They're like, "Is it paid?" I'm yet to respond. I saw the email this morning.
Yeah.
So I'll have to respond to them. Yes, it's ticketed, public. Let me hear what they have to say. And for this, some artists I see online, new artists, what they do, they announce their show 6 months before.
Yes. Yeah. You want to give people as much time as possible, but also the thing about 6 months it's dicey. The thing about also having a show 6 months before is that, again, unless you're Ariana Grande, Taylor Swift, Beyonce, 6 months is a lot of time for people to know about something. Like, not I'm a very scheduled person, calendar, this and the other. But the people that like 6 months, okay, now we go see for 6 months, like, and it's like 3 months, like 3 months now, times today. They don't know that night might be the night of their graduation. They don't know. 6 months. Okay. And then like I go see tomorrow, like, now tomorrow. Yeah. And they're being genuine. They're not trying to, but like, sometimes people can just be so close-minded. So 6 months and whatever can be a lot of time for people to know about something. It's not a bad thing. It just means that your promotional work has to be heavy. That's what I learned from my last show, because it wasn't 6 months, but it was like maybe 4 months. We knew in February. The show was in May. We're hot in February.
Okay, hot ass.
But then as we got closer to May, people were just like, oh shoot. So the lesson from that is that be hot in February. It's very important to be hot in February, but be hot in April and be on fire in May. Because we are human beings. We got tired. Like, the show, it was an interesting show. It was different from what we'd have done before. So even just the logistics of it was really a lot. So that was a huge learning ground. But there's no teacher like doing.
Thank you very much. Thanks for your time.
Of course, this was fun. We had a lot of fun doing this.
Thank you so much. Do you have like any advice for anyone that wants to pursue the music career? Anything?
There's no experience like doing it. You just have to do it. You have to. You can't make a good song without making bad songs. You can't have a great mix without having bad mixes. You can't have a great performance without having bad. Like the more you are, I'm really putting my 10,000 hours in. Like the more I do, and the only reason why like I even say no to things now is just because like logistically it doesn't make sense. But I like to do things that are out of my comfort zone just to get that practice in. So like you have this song, you've had it for 2 months, put it out, get used to being cringe and begging people to listen to your music online, get used to taking even something that's like taking pictures, as an artist, like when I'm in my, this is for artist work, is a different method from like cheese and whatever. Like,
Yeah.
because when you are branded, you are putting out, and all those things they come from doing like all the things most of the things I've learned on my own. I've done. I'm like, oh, okay, next time let's do it this way. Oh, this was great. Or now we can make it better with this way. So my advice to you is whoever your North Star artist is, for you to get to where that person is, you have to start your own story now.
Oh, thank you.
Of course, this
Thanks
was
a
so much
lot.
fun.
Thanks a lot, Adeoluwa. Bednighters. Wow, I really enjoyed this night, this
Thank you for
session.
having me. Thank you.
Yapping,
This was so
talking
much
music
fun.
and all that.
Yeah.
All right, let us know what you think, about Adeoluwa's journey, music. Check him out. Where can they find you?
Every platform in the world at Adeoluwa Music. So ADEOLUWA. And I will be the first one I show. Even on Google, I own it.
All right, guys. Thank you and see you next time. Bye.
Bye, guys.